Watch me take this 1970s bathroom and totally transform it in just one weekend with 2 gallons of paint. The first step is to take everything off the walls, like the mirrors, the lights, the switch plates, and then patch any holes. The cabinets were in great shape, so I just had to take off the existing doors and drawer fronts. This is super easy to do by just unscrewing them from the inside. I put a piece of painter's tape on the back of each door to remember which door goes into which cabinet. I'll thank myself for this later. To clean the cabinet boxes, I use TSP. This helps prep your surface for paint by not only cleaning it, but by deglossing the cabinets. This ensures a smooth finish when painting. It's super important to prep your cabinets before paint to get the best results. Once the cabinet boxes were wiped down, I moved on to the doors. First, removing the hardware and setting it aside. Since this hardware isn't going to be seen, I can reuse it on my new project. And then wipe down both sides of the doors with TSP. I followed that with a clean, damp cloth of just water. Before painting the walls of the bathroom, I made sure to tape off the countertops and the door frames. Using a clear drop cloth, I was able to cover the cabinets and counters easily to avoid any splatters by sticking it to the overhang of the painter's tape. Now for the fun part. Using the Wagner Paint Stick Easy Roller, there was no paint tray needed. I was able to draw paint directly from the can, suctioning it into the handle of the roller. Look at that. How cool. With a few pumps of the trigger, paint started flowing into my roller and I was ready to go. The paint stick held 22 ounces of paint, making it super easy to paint without stopping. The long handle kept me from having to get a ladder, and I painted the room in half the time it would have taken me with a regular roller. I can guarantee I will be using this every time I paint another room. The color I used for the walls is First Star by Sherwin-Williams. While the walls were drying, I took the cabinets outside and gave them a light sand with 220 grit sandpaper. I was able to use my electric sander for most of this, but to get the details, I hand sanded. After the sanding was done, I wiped each door down with a damp cloth to eliminate any microdust. Upstairs, I started painting the cabinet boxes with this bright green paint called Garden Spot by Sherwin-Williams. I am obsessed with this pop of color and the way it totally brightens up the room. I brushed on 2 coats of this paint, but since the area was small, it was super easy and very quick. Now, back to the cabinet doors. Outside, I spread up my large spray shelter from Wagner in my backyard. This was a game changer. I didn't have to worry about overspray getting on my house, my garage, or my dog. It kept the leaves and bugs off of my cabinets, and it was large enough to fit all of the doors inside at once. I utilized painter's triangles, and if you've never seen these before, they essentially prop up your piece off of the table to allow you to hit the sides of the cabinet doors in this case. After everything was set up and ready to go, it was time to spray. I used the Wagner Control Pro 130. The setup was super fast and easy. After attaching my hose to the machine and the spray gun, priming the machine, and then pouring in the paint, I was ready to spray. This was my first time using it, and I will say I did use a piece of scrap plywood to test my gun before to make sure I was totally confident in spraying before I hit the cabinets. This machine is beginner friendly, and it's as easy as pulling the trigger and moving in one slow, smooth motion. The overspray is 55% less than other sprayers, and compared to hand rolling, this took me no time at all. And of course, don't forget to use your painter's mask when using the spray gun. I can't wait to use this on future projects like painting my garage and maybe even staining my fence. Once the doors were coated, I closed the front of the shelter and left them to dry. Back upstairs, I hung the new light fixtures. Wow, what a difference. Then, while the sun was setting, it was back downstairs to coat the front side of the cabinet doors since they were finally dry. Thankfully, the shelter provided an easy workspace to finish the painting. The next day, with everything dry, I pulled the painter's tape and replaced the outdated faucets with matte black modern fixtures. I reattached the hardware to the painted doors and reassembled them onto the cabinet boxes in the bathroom. I added these chunky black knobs to the drawers for a modern twist. The screws were a little too long on the doors, so adding 2 washers to the back helped them fit perfectly. I hung new mirrors, laid out a rug, added hand towel hooks, and some new art. The space is finally complete. I cannot believe this before and after. The space feels clean and fresh. I'm energized just by looking at this new cabinet color. The black finishes brought this 70s bathroom into the modern day, and I could not be happier. I hope this inspired you to transform your outdated bathroom next weekend. Thanks to Wagner for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in description to shop the products used.